Let's get one thing straight, niggas. Let's go. At Red Dot, you dodged a bullet and then some. I don't give a fuck if you was in your bag, nigga. You going in this one. I ain't giving you nothing.
This computer, oh, we're good. We're recording. Jey the motherfucking Nightwing.
Mad
Battle
King.
rap extraordinaire. Mad King. Mr. Relax. How you feel, bro?
Relax. I feel good, man. I feel good. I can't complain at all, man. God is good. Life is good. Yeah.
Real shit. And, bro, you've been on a tear that I don't think we've seen from a new cat in a long time. I mean, obviously you got like guys like Swamp. People make the argument for. I make the argument for that Jey the Nightwing is the best technical rookie in my humble opinion.
I definitely feel like Swamp is like Swamp and Fonz are like leaders of the class, but I definitely feel like I'm one of them as well. Like I definitely make it debatable. I'll agree.
Dog, it's like you have cats, I think, that came in and just shook shit up with how different they were. So like you had dudes like, I'm not comparing you to Bill Collector, but even like dudes like Bill Collector, who's in the middle of his moment right now. Like that nigga came on some different shit, and now you're like half black, half Samoan. What that means, Samoan niggas, obviously.
Yeah.
but it's different. And just talk a little bit about the lack of gun bars that you have, and like why, and like where did this style? Where was it born, and why have you kept it?
I want to say, just going into battle rap, I was very I was on like a conscious tip, you know what I mean? Like I was kind of like feeling like I didn't want to say certain things and put out a certain energy that might make me responsible for the influence of certain things that I don't condone. You know what I mean? Drug use, drug abuse, drug trafficking, shit like that. And just senseless violence, you know what I mean? Like, those were things that, like, I didn't want somebody to get the impression that, oh, if I want to be like Jey the Nightwing, I got to participate in this. And usually it's not really that conscious when somebody is influenced by someone else. It's not like in the forefront of their brain, like the way I just said it. It's more of a subconscious thought that that genuinely like goes unaddressed, but it festers into action. Like I'm looking at Lil Wayne, I'm looking at the way he dresses, and I'm looking at I'm hearing the things he's talking about, and that's appealing to me. But all this whole conversation is happening in the back of your mind. You don't even realize what's registering. And then next thing you know, some 16-year-old kid is, you know, just kind of doing things and moving a certain way, and then gets capped or goes to jail, or, you know, things of that nature. And like that doesn't necessarily make like Lil Wayne responsible, but it's a contributing factor. You know what I mean? That isn't very beneficial for that individual. You know what I mean? Like especially kids, man, they're very impressionable. I ain't gonna front, like I was impressionable. I had a very angry upbringing, you know what I mean? So I had role models that probably shouldn't have been role models. I also had people who tried to be my role model that I just wasn't listening to. It's too fucking, you know, when you're at that age, like feel like you know it all type shit. Like,
yeah.
And it's like, yeah. So looking back, I was just like, I definitely don't want to be that kind of individual for an impressionable mind.
Right.
And if I got to sacrifice using gun bars, it's like, I'm cool with that. I didn't like, I was writing for battles and realizing like, yo, I can use my material to condescend people, to be condescending and to be witty and demeaning. I don't necessarily need gun lines, and I also have like size to me,
Right.
so I can make it believable that I don't need a gun.
You'll just
You know what I
whoop
mean?
you'll
Yeah,
just whoop your ass.
yeah, exactly. And it's like it's more true to me than gun violence is. I mean, I do have experience with gun violence, but much more of my experience is, you know, with the straight up to the shoulders, you know what I mean? Like, so it's definitely more honest, I feel like.
Talk a little bit about this kind of newly found influence that you have, because I think it's interesting that in the beginning, before like this many niggas knew who Jey the Nightwing is, you've kept it a band, and like you didn't want to do, like, I won't call it goofy shit because a lot of battle rap, bitch, stop watching Smack is all I gotta say for people who get battle rap, right?
Yeah.
But tell me about how you feel, especially when you're crafting rounds, if you ever think about it, about this kind of new like cult following that you have. Because I think what's different with like a Jey the Nightwing versus a Tay Rock is that you can fuck up and niggas are like, word.
He still got that. Yeah.
Right. He still got the third though. He got the third though. You know what I mean? So talk a little bit about that.
I felt like as a fan, when I was watching battle rap, there was a clear like thing that I felt like was missing. I was just watching other battlers, and it's like, man, I really like this guy for this, but he also does this thing that I can't stand. Or like, you know, that shit was dope, what Hollow just did, but everything else was kind of like, there was a lot of, and I'm not attributing this to Hollow, but there was just a lot of cliche things that I saw from a lot of battlers. And I was like, damn, like, I'm going to just get in there and I'm going to do everything that I wish other battlers would do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to contribute what I know I can contribute, and while remaining true to myself. And I feel like it was either I didn't know that there would be so many people that would like appreciate it, because I feel like that's what it is. It's like the main people that like support me and follow me in that way are people that appreciate the fact that I'm not trying to be anything else. Like, and I'm trying to accomplish a certain thing that I feel was missing. And everyone else, I feel like that, you know, supports me and follows me, they probably were watching battle rap at a certain time, maybe around the same time, and just felt like that same thing was missing. So it's like, if we let Jay's stock drop too drastically and we don't defend this nigga, we're gonna lose this shit. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, man, fuck that. Like, nah, Jay still got the third.
I mean, I think a lot of that rang true. I mean, as a fan myself, it's like, yeah, like I'm an educated motherfucker, but I'm still from the gutter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, what I was seeing was just a bunch of, you know what I'm saying, the cliches you were saying, where it's like, okay, battle rap is dope, but where do I fit into this? And then all these years later, to see a nigga, no offense, who dresses like a little bit of a bum sometimes, you know what I'm saying, who just is like, yo, I'm comfortable. And this is it. Like, I
it's
think
like a multitude of those things. Like, it's like, you see the battler, we got so used to seeing the battler that don't got it like that. We know you don't got it like that, but you trying to give off the persona that you got it like that.
Right.
And it's like, okay, I'm gonna offset that by dressing exactly how I got it. I got it like this. Nigga, I'm broke, and I'm not about to act like I'm not broke, because I'm broke. Like, period.
Because then what'll end up happening is that your chain is gonna get thrown off of a smack stage,
bruh. And it's like I'm setting myself up by being dishonest. Like, I'm just setting myself up for failure.
Right.
Like,
right.
you can't come for somebody that's sincere to themselves. Like you just can't. Like anything that you're gonna accuse me of, it's either gonna be inaccurate and I can clearly prove it's inaccurate, or it's gonna be accurate and I'm gonna wear that motherfucker. Like, yeah,
right.
all right.
It is what
Like
it
you
is.
come at me like, nigga, you broke and this and that, and you dress like a bum. Like, yeah.
I mean, you've been outwardly open about having a 9 to 5, but you recently quit that motherfucker. Congratulations, my brother. But
yeah, man, I had to take that plunge, man.
Talk about, in fact, let's get into that. Let's talk about taking risks for a second, because ultimately, you know what I'm saying, this is a podcast for people who come to get gems from the people that are on their way up, have arrived, woo woo woo, right?
There we go. Yeah.
Tell me about taking that plunge and when you felt that it was, one, necessary, and that like it was the time to do.
Man, it's a lot of things that went into it, a lot of factors. I'll definitely say, don't do it exactly the way I did it, because that might not be the best way for you to do it. You got to just know. You got to know in your heart when it's time. I felt like for me, I'm looking at the Ultimate Madness tournament, I'm looking at the 25,000, and I know in my heart, I can make the best out of this situation. You know, I had to be realistic with myself. Like, maybe I won't win the 25,000, but I know I can capitalize on this opportunity, which I've done. Like, but if I keep giving my time and energy to a company that doesn't really prioritize me the way I can prioritize me, it's like it's much more possible that I'll waste this opportunity. It's much more possible that I go in there, I lose the first round, I don't really get any more fans than I already have. You know what I mean? Like, I don't I probably would still gain something, but it's nowhere near what I could gain if I made it to the finals, which I knew I could do,
right,
if I gave myself that chance. And then it's like, when I look back at all the years of trying to work a 9 to 5 and trying to like convince myself like, yo, like this job is great. You know what I mean? Like the pay is good. Like I can stay here and I could work there. And then I think about like how I only last like a year at these jobs before I just lose, I just lose fucking interest. And I'm just like, there's one common denominator. I'm not happy at any of these jobs. Like working for other people does not make me happy. It does not give me a certain fulfillment. Like working for myself is the only way that me personally, like that I can have true happiness. And I felt like with that opportunity, it was like God had reached out to me and said, look, this is your opportunity. This is your chance. I don't know how else I got to put it to you. I've been trying to tell you, because you keep going to these other jobs. You keep telling yourself, oh, because this one pays more, it'll be better. You keep chasing the dollar, thinking that that's what's going to make you happy. And the same outcome keeps happening. The same thing. You're always in the same situation where a year later, you're at the same job and you're not happy. So I don't know how else I got to put it to you, but here goes COVID. Here goes COVID to shut down battle rap. Here goes Ultimate Madness to make it to where you and a few others are probably the most seen battlers in the culture. How else do you want me to put this to you,
and the timing was impeccable.
Phenomenal.
Man. With caffeine going through. And now it's like, at this point, I think battle rap is really fucking going somewhere. And we kind of had that vibe with the YouTube. So just to give you a little bit of my background and how much I know about battle rap and how much I love this shit. So when I was like, I had to be like 10, whenever the grind time, like jump off tournament was.
Yeah.
So they had it on demand is where I first found it. So I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
And so like, and I was 10, like watching shit that I probably shouldn't have been watching, to be honest with you. And my first battle I saw was Marv 1 in Quest McCody versus like
Fire.
some fucking white dudes from Bumblefuck
Yeah.
Midwest or whatever the fuck. So it's like to see it go from there to where it is and to see how much the talent has evolved, bro.
You'd have never guessed.
You would have never guessed.
Yeah.
Never.
And it's going to keep happening. I feel like it's definitely going to keep happening. If this culture was supposed to die, it would have been died.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been failed.
Niggas have been saying that the URL was going to be dud for since damn near the inception of it, really.
Bro, like Nas said the same thing about hip hop. We thought it was true. Like, this shit really dead. Nah, man, shit don't really die. Like, that's not really the way this universe works. Like, shit don't die. It just evolves into something else.
Right.
Like, maybe battle rap in this form will die, but it'll still be an evolution of it. Like,
right. It can only get better, really. Because if we were talking like in the goddamn 90s before I was even born, you would have been rapping over a beat.
Yeah. I might be beatboxing and shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I might be trying to call out
favorite sport.
Yeah. I might be trying to call out Dougie Fresh or some shit. You know what I mean? Like,
so I wanna get your take on just like on the topic of evolution for a little bit. Obviously battle rap is changing in a major way because of the pandemic. And so the result of it is like the production value is like up kind of crazy. The visuals are crazy.
yeah.
Where do you see crowds playing a part, if any part at all, in the future of seeing live battle rap?
I see it being a lot more exciting and a lot more appreciated. It's kind of like people are thirsty right now.
Yeah.
And I see a lot of companies trying to capitalize on that, especially the first one. Let's say the first Summer Madness that comes back, crowds are back. It's going to be a lot of money. That's going to be a lot of fucking money.
Yeah.
And then companies going to see that and they're going to be like, whoa, I don't know what's going on over here, but I need a part.
Right.
And with all kinds of crazy involvement like that, you got someone like Caffeine in your corner. So Caffeine knows people. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There's gonna be a lot of elbows getting rubbed together at that table.
Yeah.
And that just means more opportunities. Now, there's gonna be some things we don't like. But it's definitely going to evolve. It's definitely going to be a very different culture once everything comes back online.
Yeah. And you're going to be going out to kind of like a floodgate situation, because it's like it was almost, I mean, I know in your experience it's not overnight, but for motherfuckers who didn't know about you, it almost looks like that. Because I mean, other than like Don Marino and like EK and no, you actually have quite a resume, my friend. I actually take that back. But to just talk a little bit about when you first got into battle rap, and when was the moment you knew that like you were meant for this shit?
You know, I've been battling since 2014. I always had a thought, like an inkling, but it wasn't until I want to say Don Marino.
Wow.
That I knew, because the whole time I'm trying to convince myself, like especially with I had 2 PGs before Don Marino. The first PG, it was against Fix, and that was the one I got my hoodie ripped, and then
that shit was crazy.
Yeah, that was a crazy battle. But even in the back of my mind, I'm like, I mean, people are fucking with me right now, but like, I don't know, maybe this is a fluke, you know, but at the same time, we're going to ride this wave and see what happens, you know what I mean? Because also what I was thinking at the same time is like, I think I get it. I think I get what people want to see from me. And then I was kind of like, all right, let's test it again. My second PG was against real name Brandon. And that was confirmation. That was where, like, I know what I'm doing is what people like. It wasn't a fluke. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like I had to get my hoodie ripped every single battle in order for me to, you know, get, like, some attention my way. But then it wasn't. And then Don Marino, at the time when I battled him, he was kind of like the champion of the class. Like, he was kind of making a name for himself.
He was on a run,
just,
yeah.
Yeah, he just beat Gunpowder Pat. He who else did he battle before me? I think he had battled Chess on Gates of the Garden. So yeah, he was definitely making a run for himself. Or was it Prez? It might have been both, actually. I think he battled Chess and Prez on Gates of the Garden before seeing me, and then beat Gunpowder Pat. Yeah, like, he was on a run. And then when I battled him in Miami and got that kind of reception, that was when I knew. I was like, yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this. I mean, like, this is exactly where I'm supposed to be.
The one shining moment from that battle that I remember is the left encounter. Oh my God. Oh my God. So speaking of that battle, I want to get a little bit into your background. So during that battle, I believe you had a bar that said you were going on about, you were kind of shitting on struggle bars. And you kind of did a moment where it was like, nigga, I struggled too. I had to wake up and make the floor, cause so tell me about your upbringing and how it kind of has influenced Jey the Nightwing today, and even like drips into your style or even your writing a little bit.
Yeah, so that wake up and make the floor bar, I ain't gonna lie, man. Like, that shit was like one of my filler bars. I just wrote that motherfucker. I had no idea. Like, people are saying that's like the #1 struggle bar of all time, and I'm like, damn, like, I didn't see that coming, you know what I mean?
Nigga, you know how bad you gotta be struggling when you make up and wake the fuck, bro. Yeah, that's hard.
Yeah, man. I mean, after hearing everybody like go crazy about it, I was like, damn, I guess that is pretty tough, man. Like, but I also said it wrong too. Like I was just rapping, and it wasn't supposed to come out like I ain't have a mattress till I was 16. It was supposed to come out I ain't have my own mattress till I was 16.
Oh.
And like, yeah, because like, you know, me and my brother would like share the same like fucking queen size mattress and shit like that. Like, but I mean, even that was like a little bit of
Oh, did I lose you?
all right, for sure.
We're good. All right, as you were.
Yes. So, like, that was a little bit of a hyperbole. Like, it was a little bit exaggerated. Like, because it wasn't like just my whole life until I was 16. Like, you know, I was just making the floor and shit. Like, but yeah, my mom's got on me about that. She was like, "Yo, what the fuck you? Like, what the fuck you telling these people for? They're gonna make me whoop your ass." And like, but I mean, I wrote it kind of that way because it was like, one, I definitely didn't think it was gonna go that crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, two, it was like, in our culture, like, we have what's called follows, and when I was staying in Samoa, like, it's basically mats, and like, Samoa is like an island where it's just always hot. There's no winter. Like, winter doesn't exist there. So like, you want to sleep on the floor. Like, it's cooler there. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he rises.
Yeah, like, we had a bed, but that was for grandma, man. Like, that wasn't for us. Like, we didn't care. Like, we'd sleep outside damn near. Like, it'd be too damn hot. Yeah, man. Like, and I stayed out there for like 3 years, and like, that's kind of what inspired that bar. Like, because in Samoa, like, it's just a very different environment. Like, the food, you make your own food. Like, you hungry, you go find that shit. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
We ain't really, yeah, we ain't really like spending money on. I mean, there's a McDonald's, but like, it's the only McDonald's on the island. You know what I mean? Like, And the island is about as big as Washington State. You know what I mean? Like,
damn.
so it's like, yeah, it's just very different. But like, it's not. I can't really say it's like. So American poor and island poor is two different things. You know what I'm saying?
So,
Like,
so would it be classified as like almost like underdeveloped? Almost
exactly what I would put it as, underdeveloped. Like, technology wise, like shit hits the island late. You know what I mean? Like, niggas probably like already had like touchscreen phones. We just got the ability to text type shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, and it's like the roads aren't really like you can't come in there with like a Lexus. That should be pointless. Like,
yeah,
your tires are gonna get fucked over like 9 times out of 10.
So it's almost no reason to be like on no baller shit out there.
Yeah, no reason at all. Like, if you had nice ass shoes, it's like, for what, bro? Like, there ain't no sidewalk. It's like, these are dirt roads back here. Like, you're gonna ruin them shits like immediately. You know what I mean? Like, but you know, our generation of kids, we still wanted to like, you know, flash and pizzazz, but still, it ain't like American the way that they do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they'll flash with like the jersey or something. Like, you know what I mean? They'll buy nice ass jerseys, and our schools like had uniforms, so it was like only Fridays could you like dress any way you wanted. So like that'd be like one day where like, you know, you pulling out the Iverson jersey. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Yeah. That's fire.
Yeah, man. And yeah, it's just a different kind of way of living that makes you appreciate, like, you know, the way that we live out here. Like, I'm talking like cold showers. Like, there's no hot water. Like, for what? You know what I mean? Like, they just, yeah, it's just different. Like,
it's already hot outside. Like,
yeah, it's like, so I would literally, that was probably the hardest thing to get used to. I mean, aside from like the, you know, inner culture racism, like, that was probably like top thing to get used to, because nobody warned me about that. Like, I'm used to having hot showers. And then we get there and it's like, all right, I'm ready to take a shower. Turn the water on. There ain't no hot knob. It's just one knob. Like, it comes out of this spigot. And like, yo.
You bet. I couldn't imagine just like pulling up, like, especially from here. It's just like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, man. The air is different. Like, everything's just different, man. Like, it's
it's like, looking back. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, looking back on it, it's like, is it something like you appreciated?
Oh yeah, it built a lot of character. I definitely wouldn't go back to live, but that's mainly because of the people. Like, it's just, you get treated differently when you are different. You know what I mean? Like, it's undeniable. Like, and it's not really, I don't really hold anyone at fault to that, because it's not really something that they can help. You know what I mean? Like, if you on an island and all the people that you see look like you, and then all of a sudden you see someone that doesn't look like you, you're going to treat that person differently, whether it's in a good way or a bad way. It's like, it's still different. And it's like, for me, it's like, nah, I'm cool and all that, but
right.
At the same time, it's like, those are still my people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was the same way with black people. Like, it was like, you know, niggas would look at me and be like, yo, I don't know what you are, but you ain't no nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What, you mix with something? Like,
yeah. And I'll be like, yeah, I mixed with, like, because I was raised in Pensacola, Florida, like that, until I moved to Samoa, like when I was like 12. And I was in Florida from like 6 to that age. So like most of my younger years was there. And yeah, they ain't ever heard of no Samoans, bro. They was like, what? Somalian? Like, no, Samoan, bro. And they'd be like, nah, you Somalian now. Hey, guys, look, this guy's Somalian.
Yeah. Look at this East African motherfucker.
Yeah.
Nah, son. Like,
They didn't even know what Somalian was. It
right.
just like, it sounds funny. Like, for all they knew, that was like fucking Punjabi or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Whatever the fuck, right.
Yeah.
Speaking of Punjabis, no racism. Let's talk about Real Sick for a second. I think that was your moment.
Yeah.
Where it's like you captured a lot of eyes. Cause we knew that it was gonna be a battle. And I only knew that from the face off. And
Yeah.
I knew it was gonna be a hell of a fucking battle.
That was
So
definitely a proving point for me. I had to prove it. Like, there was a lot of pressure to prove it on my shoulders. Because everybody that supported me was like, I know they was worried too. Like, damn, man, I hope Jey don't choke. I really hope Jey don't choke. Like, if Jey, like, but everyone knew if I don't choke, I win. It was like, but damn, like, this nigga chokes a lot. You know what I mean? Like, it's
right.
like, and I'm over here, like, they're like, yeah, we got you, Jey. Like, we support you. You know what I'm saying? We believe in you. Just don't fucking, you know what I'm saying? Like,
just don't fuck up.
Yeah. Like, just don't fuck up, and you got this. And I'm like, yeah, I got you. And then I'm like, damn, I can't fuck up. Like, yeah, man, it was a lot of pressure, but it was like, once I got past that, I was like, oh, I can do this. Like,
yeah,
I can fucking do this. Like, it's not.
Did you know you were gonna make it to the finals?
I told myself I knew, but I didn't know. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I kept telling myself that. Like, I was in the whole tournament, I was in a zone. I was like, you know, on my Eric Thomas shit, like, just telling myself, like, you win, that's it. That's all you do is win. We ain't taking no losses. It was like if I talked about the tournament, it was like, yeah, if I win the 25K, it was no if. It was like when I win the 25K. Like, I changed my whole rhetoric on how I spoke about shit, like everything. But as soon as the tournament was over and I lost, I was like, all right, you know,
yeah.
Now I can kind of relax with this whole, like, you know, fucking drill sergeant in my head type shit. Like,
yeah, because at that moment, that's like, my friend, you have a career. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah, I definitely put myself in a position where, like, the rest becomes like a matter of, because yeah, like, winning the 25,000, that would have definitely put me in a position where it's like, no worries. Like, anything you're trying to invest in, you got the money now. You know what I mean? Like, you definitely, it makes no sense for you to, like, go back to a full-time gig, like, even for like a short period of time, or none of that. Like, none of that shit makes sense. Like, you just won 25,000. If you end up in a position where you have to go back to work after winning 25,000, you clearly did something wrong, like, business-wise. Like, but then when I didn't win the 25,000, I still felt like you gained, like, a lot of shit, like a strong-ass fan base, and you got rookies versus vets coming up. If you go back to work, you're literally saying, I don't have faith in my ability to do this. I don't have enough faith. I have more faith in a company paying me than I have in my own ability to pay myself.
Wow.
And it's like, no, I'm not willing to give myself that message subconsciously. Like, I'm just not willing to do it.
That's real.
Yeah, like, I'm willing to take the risk. And, you know, if I fall, I fall. But I know, with the way I am, I always get back up. I fell in the tournament. I fell short in the tournament.
Nigga, you choked fucking twice, and you are one of the hottest motherfuckers in the URL right now.
Exactly. There's nothing in my history that says, oh, if you fall, you won't get back up. There's nothing to suggest that that's remotely true. So it's like, why suggest it now?
Right.
You know what I mean?
So with rookies versus vets behind you, by the way, congratulations. That was, I think that was another solidifying moment for the niggas who are kind of on a fence about Jey, because like the niggas who were like, hold on, this nigga's kind of weird, bro. Like, For the niggas who thought that, and to see you perform against somebody who is almost like across the spectrum, with content and with even with delivery and articulation and like voice control.
Yeah.
Once I feel like once people saw you go against somebody mainstream,
Yeah.
I think that's when it's like, okay, word, this is fire. This
Yeah.
cat's fire.
I think there's still some people on the fence though, and that's kind of where I kind of have it in my head that like every single battle is a proving ground battle.
Absolutely.
Like it's a proving.
I'll be the first to say it. You will always be goddamn. There will always, because nigga Tay Rock exists, and he is all, should I still will it ill? That's his whole brand. So it's almost like not only are you going against the battler, but you're going against that whole genre of fucking battle rap.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So
I feel like,
go ahead.
I feel like a lot of those people, they have their, and that's not really something I can help, but they have their people that voice for them. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, I'm living in this reality and this person speaks to my reality. There's no way you from your reality that's completely different from mine is going to sway me more than this person does. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? In my opinion, like it's like a lot of people like try to like be like, like if you're fans of Shotgun Suge, you're probably illiterate or some shit like that. Like you probably don't care about bars. Right. It's like, it's not that, man. It's that nigga represents a whole demographic within this culture. You know what I'm saying? And there's no way you're going to convince every single person that he speaks for that you're better than them. Like there's no possible way. It's just not gonna happen. But on the same note, I have my own reality, and there's a whole like cluster of people that come from that same reality. And I speak for them. So you're not going to be able to convince them either. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's anything wrong with that. It's like, it's a sport. So there, in sports, there's teams, but in this culture, yeah, but in this culture, it's players. It's just rappers. You know what I mean? Like, why, if I'm from Minnesota, why the fuck would I, like, how would you even, why would you bother trying to convince me that the Detroit Lions are better?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, why would you bother? I'm from Minnesota. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I am from here. So yeah, it just is what it is, man. Like, I think a lot of people are on the fence about my style because the majority of battle rap isn't really used to what I'm doing. Even the people that, you know, are like my hardcore fans, like they're still seeing things from me that it takes some adjusting. You know what I mean? But that's the point. Like a lot of people are like, man, we want the old Jey, man. We want the laid back Jey. And it's like, I understand what you're saying, but what I know you're saying is we want a certain feel. We want a certain dominating feel back. Because the whole laid back thing in this setting, it doesn't work. And I don't think people understand why it doesn't work the way I understand it doesn't work. Because I've taken shots to try to, I've already done the experiment in several of the Ultimate Madness tournament battles. I experimented with it. I tried like doing some kind of slow start or like witty shit or condescending shit. And some of it works, but I understand why that works and why others don't. You know what I mean? And it's just a matter of like, it's just a matter of giving everyone what they don't know they want. You know what I mean? Like, with Shotgun Suge, niggas didn't expect me to spit like that. But that came from all the experiments. That came from all the trial and error. That came from me really like studying the game and the environment that we're in today. You know what I mean? Like that came from an understanding based on trial.
You barked on that man.
Yeah.
Barked on that man.
Yeah, I ain't gonna front, man. I was writing for that battle, and I was like, man, I'm gonna empty the clip on this nigga. Pause. Like I just lost the tournament, so I already know there's a certain expectation that people are gonna have with seeing me again, and it has to look like that. It has to look like I took a loss, and it changed me. You know what I'm saying? Like it changed the way I battle. And I feel like my performance with Shotgun Suge did that. It was meant to do that, and that's exactly what it was supposed to do.
I mean, I think even that is kind of like this comic book character that you really are, where it's like it's almost like fucking like your hero being smashed into a brick building and all the bricks come falling down.
Yeah.
It's like until the next episode. And then it's like the first shot is him like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
and I think that kind of stunned Suge. I mean, I'm not gonna sit here and act like I know how to write a fucking round and like memorize like all that shit. But it like I would imagine that like seeing somebody that kind of matches his energy, and it's like you were barking on that man. Like, so I want to get into the recent your view on like the recent choking situations. You don't have to mention any specific names, but obviously motherfuckers have been choking. And as somebody who has choked before and is like hot right now, I think it's an opinion that people would value. So what do you think just generally about it, and is there like a solution to it? Should rappers be punished for being choked? Just or no, pause that for being choked for choke for choking.
We're getting a little freaky. Nah, I feel like there's because like, you know, Smack talks about it a lot. And I do sympathize with him as a business owner, you know what I mean? Like you're paying somebody to do a certain thing to provide a certain service, and they're not providing it, you know, the way that you're paying them to. So, I mean, you know, I get that. So, punish is kind of harsh. I'd say I'd entertain the it's just kind of difficult to do so because like
right, because it's like cats like athletes don't
what if I get through the whole round but I just forget the ending, you know what I mean? Like how do you punish that, you know what I mean? I still gave you a round technically,
right?
It's like I don't know, like, but for me, if I'm a battler, I'm not bothering with any of that. Like, especially me, I'm not bothering with how they're going to penalize me if I choke. I'm just going to do my part and not choke. You know what I mean? Like, and that's the kind of mentality that I had to step into in order to break the cycle of just having a good battle, then choking, then having a great battle, then choking. You know what I mean? Like, I have to stay in this mentality at all times. At any point in time, if I step outside of this mentality, one way or another, I'm going to pay for it, and I know it. And I just can't afford that, especially at this point in time in my career. Like, I can't afford that.
Right.
So from a business standpoint, like, it's just the thing that I had to do to change it was put my 100% effort into making that top priority of things that can't happen. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that I had to do shit differently. So it was like I had to recognize what I was doing with my preparation and understand that, okay, that was what you were doing and that's not enough.
Yeah, what changed?
So what used to happen a lot is, let's say I get booked for a battle and it's like 2 months out. There was only one time where it was like only like 3 weeks out, and that was with Reaper Rel. But still, you know, Shotgun Suge was 3 weeks out, and I didn't choke in that battle. So all of it kind of is just like under the umbrella of lack of prep. You know what I mean? So any wasted time that I used to have, I would make sure in some way, shape, or form I'm utilizing it. There isn't a day now. There'd be days. I'd go days without going over my rounds. You know what I mean? Like, or just days without writing nothing. Now, unless there's no battle booked, like, unless I'm in a space where there's no battle booked, there isn't a day where I don't go over a round or I don't write a bar or something of that nature. Like, if let's say I'm preparing for Shotgun Suge, if I can't think of anything to really like commit to any of the rounds, I'll just go over what I got again and again and again. I'll give myself like any round that I have done every single day, I'll go over it 12 times. 12 is kind of just, you know, feels biblical, feels right. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, 12 sounds good. 10 doesn't sound like enough. You know what I mean? Like
12 is a good number in between 10 and 15.
Yeah.
12.
Yeah. And then 20 and 15, just, I don't want to get tired of my rounds neither. Like, you know what I mean? Because then I'll end up performing them, just not giving a shit about them. You know what I mean? So I think 12 is like a safe spot for me where like every day I'm just going over it. And yeah, it's difficult to keep up with. The times that I didn't keep up with it, I didn't necessarily choke, but I noticed the difference in how I performed. I notice every single time I don't go over it like that, what could have been better. Like with, who was it? With Real Sick, I was the most prepared, even more so than Shotgun Suge. I mean, I had the most time with Real Sick though, so. I'd say though with Lou Castro, I had 3 weeks for Lou Castro, and I remember there was like a couple days where I didn't go over it 12 times. And also another habit I had to break was writing last minute or changing anything last minute. I used to do that a lot. Where I would just
finding comfort in the round.
Yeah, like I would just get to like week of and be like, damn, I don't like that second. Fuck it, I'm gonna scrap it and just write as fast as I can real quick. You know what I mean? And then I think with Castro, that's what I did that with Bando. I barely got away with it. Barely got away with it.
I actually think from a fan's perspective that the Rue Bando battle was probably the least prepared Jey that was noticeable during. Now, like, niggas knew. I mean, like, no, like Rue Bando is one of them ones. Don't get me wrong, but niggas knew after Sick that it was kind of like, okay, let's fast forward.
For me, I was definitely trying to like convince myself that Rue Bando is just as dangerous as like a Tay-Rock like I was definitely trying to convince myself of that, but subconsciously you can't lie to yourself. Like your subconscious won't let you, especially
you
if
had
like,
him in the face off, bro. Like,
yeah, it was like the energy that you're gonna put forth will not be the same. It just won't. It won't be the same energy you put forth if they book you Shotgun Suge. Like it just will not. Like, because reality and what you're telling yourself, it will always have a better outcome if the two match. It won't be the same if reality is one thing and you're telling yourself another. Like it just won't be. Like, I can tell myself, like, if I got an interview with a sponsor and he's just trying to like give me like $400 for the next thing, I can tell myself this is $1 million deal, but I'm just not. There's no way possible you can lie to yourself to that level. You can still, you know what I mean? Like
it's real though.
You can still treat it to the best of your ability, like it's $1 million deal.
Mm-hmm.
But it won't be the same. Because once you get that $1 million deal, you're going to talk different. You're going to say things differently. The pressure is going to make you react differently. Like it just will. Like it's
real shit.
But you still have to do your part and do the best that you can. And that's what I did with Bando. And I felt like with my second round with Bando, because my original second round was nothing like the second round that I gave. You know what I mean? Third round was short, and I made it short to supplement how new my second round was. Like I wanted to make sure that I had my first and my third completely memorized to like a T, where there was no possibility that I was going to forget those two, so that with my second, I could fully concentrate or just concentrate easier with my second. And because my original second round for Bando was like, in retrospect, it was trash. It was like I was trying to like sun him a little too much.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, from a fan's perspective, if it matters from a fan perspective,
yeah,
it's like,
of course it matters.
We like, as fans of Jey, that's part of the appeal, is that you sun these niggas by not sunning these niggas.
Yeah.
By just like letting them know, whether it's with like that body language or it's with like saying some real shit. Like for example, real sick, bitch, I could give a real shit. Oh my God. Like you sun that man, but without like the overt, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But that's just my 2 cents. And it's really
no. That's definitely what I like to consider, is that like there's overdoing it and oversaturation that you can do. And I feel like my original second for Bando was like, it was like I was trying to play his father. Like I was talking about shit like his mom's tired of him and shit. Like, by the way, your mom said this. And like, then I thought about it. I'm like, yo, is his mom even still alive? Like, I might be,
you might be violating this man by accident.
Super fucking. And I was like, yo, if it's like that, man, like you gotta dump this round, bro. Like, and it was also a round that like I know I didn't put that much effort towards. So the second round,
you said it yourself in the round.
Yeah, but like that was in my third, and the third was meant.
That was your third.
Yeah, my third round was not meant to compete. Like my third was meant to like condescend and kind of put a bow on the present. Like it was meant to amplify the other two. But the second was supposed to be like that nail in the coffin. Like there's no way you're taking this second. Like I had so much shit in that second that I was like, there's nothing he can do about this. But I just anticipated things wrong. With me going first, I knew his surprise factor was going to kick in at some point, but I thought it was going to kick in the first round. So like, I felt like Rubando, from watching his battles, he goes heavy in the first and then slowly just trails down. You know what I mean? So I'm expecting him to have a very fire first that just seems even more fire because he's saying it to me. You know what I mean?
Right.
But by the time I unload both my heaviest rounds, he still has the surprise factor in the tuck. And he hits me with a phenomenal second. Like, it's not just phenomenal for him. It's phenomenal, period.
Across the board, yeah. And one of the better performances, one of the better rounds of the tournament.
So now I'm sitting here with this third round that is not meant to compete. It's not meant to compete. So the only choice I had was to really sell it to the best of my ability. And I did that, but it still felt like the door was open.
Right.
And then when he started choking, that was where I really like sank my teeth in, because see, everything is strategic with me. If you watch the third and he starts choking in the beginning, I say to him, I'm like saying to the crowd, like, hold it down. And I'm saying, like, you got it, bro. You got it. Run it back. Bro, that was all deliberate. That was all deliberate because I knew.
You're an asshole.
Yo, if this was a regular battle, then okay. But this 25K on the line. I have to sneak in as many punches as I can, like,
oh man,
and subconsciously attack people. Like, I had to sneak some lead in my glove, man. Like, I just had to. Like, there was too much riding on it, and like, yeah.
Oof.
I ain't gonna lie. I felt dirty afterwards. I had to take a shower. You know what I mean?
Hey, niggas die every day, B.
You
know
tough though, right? That's a fact.
So, I wanna close out the interview with two questions. So, first of all, who is your Super Bowl battle?
Ooh. Like, this is
like this is like
like,
this is something,
including me.
Including you. So who is your Super Bowl, like your personal Super Bowl battle?
In the immediate future, it'd be John. It would have to be, right?
Talk has been spicy. Has been spicy.
Yeah, it's definitely been. But it would have to be now. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. If it's not rookies versus vets season, I'm gonna lose interest because it's like the stakes aren't the same. You know what I mean? Like, after rookies versus vets, I'm gonna be more focused on battling like people that it makes sense for. You know what I mean? Like, because John, I'm not on John's level. Like, I'm not. Like, I'm probably a year, 2 years away from that. You know what I mean? Ability wise, like, I'm you know, I could whoop his ass ability wise, but like, it just doesn't make sense.
Right.
Outside of this rookies versus vets
I'm
season.
saying, you're saying like level as in like,
yeah, as far as like tier.
Stock.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, it looks goofy if it's not rookies versus vets. You know what I mean? Like, it's like Jay's battling John, and it's not rookies versus vets. Why? What the fuck?
Right.
Like,
yeah,
like, I'd much rather battle people where like everyone kind of is watching the battle. Like, this makes sense. This is fire. I want to see that. Like, me versus Easy to Block Captain. Like, it makes complete sense. Sounds fire. We know it's gonna be fire. You know what I'm saying? Like, or me versus Drugs. I think Swave Seva could happen even without a rookies versus vets.
Swave was one of the first kind of vets to be like, yo.
Mm-hmm. And I think that could happen outside of the season, just based on like where his stock is at and where my stock is at. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like John, though, he's like more of a current gatekeeper that's also still like a high performing battle rapper. Mm-hmm. So where Swave is kind of more small room, you know what I mean? Like, he's more neighborhood bully kind of.
Right. It's like he's really old school battle rap, like back to the roots of it.
To where John is like Navy SEAL type.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, he's definitely more elite as far as stock goes and performance goes. So yeah, it doesn't make sense to see John outside of this season. But if we're talking Super Bowl matches in the immediate future, that's definitely who I want to see before the season is out.
Right.
After the season is out.
Yeah. What about like long-term career Jey the Nightwing?
Daylight.
That would be some shit.
Day versus night.
Oh my God. That's like main event. You might get like 10 racks for that battle, Jay. Shit. That's like,
I gotta earn it though.
Hey bro, you got some work to do.
I got some work to do. I do not want to see him early. I do not want to see him too early. I don't want to see him a year from now. I don't want to see him 2 years from now. But 3 years from now, I think I could make it make sense by then.
Man, it's Daylight is such an interesting answer from you, because like if you would have asked like a dude who kind of has the same like lyrical messaging as yours, or like the same kind of like backpack battle rappers, how I'll classify it, like
Yeah.
backpack battle rapper kind of vibe, they would, Lux is usually like the first one. But I think that shows that there's a changing of the guard.
Yeah,
There's a
absolutely.
changing of the guard.
Daylight's our new Lux, man.
Yeah.
After that performance with Tay-Rock, Daylight is clearly this generation's Lux.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly. Like I don't think we could argue that. I just hope that by the time I'm worthy of that shot, he hasn't died. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Like, because Lux, man, like, Lux had that. And I think that was another thing that, like, kind of, like, made me step into the game was, like, yo, like we love Lux for that lyricism.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he approaches certain battles, it just pisses you off. Like, it's like, dog, like you're the chess guy. You know what I mean? Like you're the master player. You're supposed
he bought
to
a fucking casket to a fucking battle. What is this bullshit?
Yeah, man. Like, what the fuck? When he battled Murder Mook, I'm like, okay, Lux. You know what I mean? Before the battle, I'm like, okay, Lux, you already know what angles he's gonna take. You know what I'm saying? So you know what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck?
He wasn't there, bro.
You could tell he was sipping his own juice. He was like, just be me, King of Harlem, motherfuckers. It's like,
look at me while I'm talking to you, beloved.
Man, I feel like I had that moment with Gnome, but in a different way. It wasn't like I was sipping my own juice. The moment made me go way too out of the box. Like it made me go too far outside.
So when like specifically what rounds, or specifically like what content from that battle?
Like the first round. The first round, I know now in retrospect, like everyone was like, yo, like, I mean, he's saying stuff, but he wasn't really saying nothing. Right. And it was like, to me, I was saying a lot, but that was because the moment mattered a lot to me, and I was speaking on the moment with the first round. So, like, for a crowd, yeah, that would have been great. For no crowd, no one else's energy to bounce off of, like, you got to create your own energy.
Right.
And that round didn't. And it was because, like, you're looking at this, you're approaching this battle like we're supposed to give a fuck about you in this moment, like you give a fuck. And bro, that's not gonna happen. Like, nigga, I'm watching a battle, and I it took me a little minute, but I understood, like, from a fan's perspective, it's like, nigga, I want you to rap, nigga. What the fuck is this? Like, you like in the first round, I'm like calling back to like other bars that I've had before, and it's like, I don't give a fuck about this, nigga. Like, you've already said that shit. I want some new shit, sir. Right. This is, you know what I mean? Like, so I understood. And then with my second round was meant to like put pressure on him and like try to get him to choke. I was playing dirty again, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was being physical, and I was trying to make him choke. You know what I mean? I was trying to make him like feel like, holy shit, this nigga Jay's taking off. You know what I mean? Like,
he's barking.
But none of the bars were like intricate. There wasn't really too much intricacy. I wasn't really rapping. So that's 2 rounds now down. Where as a fan, you're not getting what you want. You know what I mean? And then the third round, I went way outside of the bag. And that was purposefully. But I meant for the first and the third to be the most competitive. I meant for the second to try and get him to choke. The first, though, was meant to compete and win. The third was meant to be unbeatable. So I think I accomplished my goal with that, but it was still like,
right, like that's the thing. Niggas say, a lot of niggas say Fonz took a 2-1, but hold on, that third though. Yeah.
And like, I accomplished the goal with that, but still, I'm cognizant of the fact that it was misplaced. Wrong battle for that. Like, it would have been way more fire if I saved that whole shit for like a crowd. Now, in my defense, though, I did think we was gonna have a crowd, though, like because it was known. You know what I mean? I thought we was gonna have like somewhat of a crowd, like the way Twerk and Swamp looked.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like like some kind of inkling of a crowd. Nah, we had nothing. I wasn't expecting that. Yeah. That's nobody's fault. You know what I mean? Like it's just what it is.
Yeah. Right. Sign of the times.
Yeah, because with Shotgun Suge, the way I approached that battle, I felt like I approached it the right way because it didn't matter. Whether it was a crowd or not, like it really didn't matter. Like with the shit that I wrote, I knew there was still some things though in the first that I felt like I repeated on accident. Like, but now I know. You know what I mean? Like, so it's just a learning process, you know, like constantly fucking with shit until you get like that, get it down like the way you know you're supposed to get it down.
I want to talk. Oh shit! As soon as I started the sentence, I forgot the question. I wanted
Should be
to
like that.
Hey, dog, for real though. I wanted to talk a little bit about impact, because one of the first videos you see when you look up Jey the Nightwing is the round about your homie. And then you say that bar, which I think is one of the bars of the decade. Officer Jared Keller. I hope you die a decorated officer when they light your fucking house up.
Yeah.
Talk about your relationship to the moment that the country is having right now.
It definitely felt like that round resurfaced a lot after George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and this whole movement of just getting everybody to take a harder look at like the injustices that we face. You know what I mean? From people of authority, and not just like the injustices we face, but like the abuse of authority that we all as Americans are susceptible to. Like they have way too much fucking power. There's way too much leniency. Like far too much. It's not debatable. It's not negotiable. And yet there's people that will defend it to the death, but it's because they're defending what they think is their identity. They identify with certain things, and in this day and age, especially with public opinion, concision isn't prioritized. Like concision with like comprehension and concision with like verbalizing your point. People aren't concisely breaking down what people are saying in order to extract their point, their actual point, and people aren't verbally being concise enough to drive their point. And it's difficult. And I think especially when there's a lot of high rising emotions on every side, it's really a case where you will always have division. You'll always have people, because it sounds like what you're saying is you don't like me and my people. That's not what you're saying, but I kind of am not sure because of the things that you're saying.
Right.
Like if I'm white and I'm going down Twitter and I'm seeing just like, oh, white privilege, white people this, white people that, I think you're talking about me, even though I'm not oppressive in my behavior, even though I'm not a cop, even though I'm not racist, even though I know I'm not, but it feels like you're talking to me. So I'm against whatever the fuck you're talking about. Because I don't know and I'm not sure, so I'm going to jump to conclusions. It's kind of happening on both sides. So it's like, it just ends up being a bunch of noise.
Right.
And a lot of partisanship where like niggas is just grouping with other people that like, I mean, I guess we got a common goal in mind, like, you know, like Black Lives Matter. When it first came out, it was like, yeah, what the fuck? Like, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, fact.
Then like you start hearing shit that like, you know, other people are against, and it's like, how the fuck can you be against that shit? Like, it's like, well, all lives should matter. It's like, we're not saying that though.
Right.
We're not saying like Black lives only matter. And it's like, yeah, but look at the riot in the street and shit like that. And it's like, okay, but I feel like you're fucking with me. Like, you know, like,
you can't be serious.
Yeah, like, you know, like individuals are like individuals.
Right.
You have to hold them responsible for their individual crimes and not the whole.
Mm-hmm.
But then they'll start arguing back like, well, what's the systematic racism you're talking about? Shouldn't that be treated like as individually? Like, it's like, okay, so now I got to give you a history lesson. Okay,
right.
like how everything is set up. But there are what I will say is there are a lot of blanket statements that we as Black people use that they don't fit our point. They don't help us. Mm-hmm. Like, there's like, if you just say all white people are fucking anything, it's not true.
Right. Because then on the flip side of it's like, and all niggas.
Man, and it's like, you are literally like, you when you do that, when you just blanketly involve these people into an agenda that they don't have, you're creating enemies. Like, you are not necessarily creating, but you are influencing people who could have supported, you know, whatever you were saying. You're influencing them to do the latter. You're making it easier for them to put on an All Lives Matter shirt and a MAGA hat.
And I think that's specifically why that round has surfaced so much. Is because it's like, one, it was the raw emotion of losing.
And I think that was important for me to, but in retrospect, I wish I was more concise, you know what I'm saying? But it was so.
But even I want to push back on that a little bit, because I think the concision of, cause he would have, like like you said, he died like a dog. But he wouldn't have, like, but he would have went to jail if a dog died. Like, the cop would have been punished if a dog died. Like, that's a really deep critique of the criminal justice system that we're under now. And you said it in what, a goddamn 3-minute round?
Yeah, it's a fact. Yeah, man, that like it's funny how tragedy motivates us artists, man. Like, it really brings out like because it's the audacity of it. You know what I mean? Like, you know what the fuck you did, and like, you as a cop, you as a police force, you as a governor, you as a city council member, like, you're gonna look me in my face and act like we didn't see the same body cam footage. You're gonna act like we're not looking at the same fucking thing. You're really trying to pettifog this whole situation and sweep it under the rug, and like, no, like,
fuck that.
Somehow, some way, I'm not gonna just let you. And I have this fan base over here. They're gonna know. Like, fuck that. I mean, I definitely didn't want to be insensitive to the family, so I got the okay from one individual who represents the whole family. And I spit him the round, and he was like, bro, yeah. And I was like, enough said. Because that whole round came to me in 20 minutes. Like, it was just raw.
Because it was right there,
Yeah, it was like, yeah. I
So final. No. Go ahead. Did you want to finish your point?
yeah. I mean, I was just gonna say like I was coming from a place of a lot of anger and frustration with how the whole ordeal went down, and it was inexcusable to me. So,
But I think you struck a chord with this statement, and I keep saying final chord, but it's so many.
yeah, it keeps like unraveling.
It's so much depth. So I mean,
Yeah.
I'm in no rush, but just like give me a thumbs up or something when you need to go. But talk about how real life influences like even the performance, because I think with Bill, who just delivered one of the best third rounds of the year that I or one of the best battles of the year that I've seen, what the best Bill I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He like you could feel it in his heart when he was telling Mike P that I'm depressed too, nigga. Like, so tell me about what tragedy, and it may specifically be that situation or whatever have you. Tell me how tragedy kind of shows and manifests itself into a battler's round.
I mean, tragedy is. I think what it mainly is sincerity. I think sincerity to your when you apply sincerity to your craft, like when you combine who you are to your craft, it'll always come out exactly how it should come out from you, because it's by you, it's from you. No one else can mimic that. It's you. You know what I mean? There is no other you. But I think when tragedy strikes, it forces you to sincerity. You can't, if you try to fight the sincerity after a tragedy, you end up coming off very strange. You know what I mean? Like it's very it's very just like it has a lot of different yeah. Like I feel like with Mike P, for example, the shit bothered him. You know what I mean? The shit clearly bothered him. But with it bothering him and then also portraying like it doesn't bother him, that's when everything looked weird.
Yeah.
Everything looked strange.
We knew he was shook.
Yeah.
We knew Ryder fucked him up.
If he would have just been like, look, man, I don't fucking like none of this shit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, man, y'all fucking, this shit pisses me the fuck off. She didn't even tell me. Like, you know what I mean? Like sincerely just mad. Like, you know what I mean? That'd be easier to digest than the, I don't give a fuck. Like, I mean, it's like.
And it's like that. And I don't want to necessarily get too much, because I am so far removed from being inside of the culture, so I don't want to critique anybody in particular, but where you like Mike P versus Suge said that he had a fucking shotgun in his mouth or some shit like that. So it's like it was kind of perplexing to see him not be emotional. It's like, yo, I don't know.
And it came off weird because we know you, Mike. You know what I mean? Like up until this point, you had the utmost sincerity. You know what I mean? So it's like you're swimming against the current now. And it just I don't understand. Like, I mean, I do. I definitely understand. You know what I mean? Like, because I can sit here and critique how you should go through that shit properly all I want to, but it ain't me. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
It ain't me in your shoes.
Facts.
So,
man, tell that to fucking other battlers, please.
Yeah, man. Everybody got their opinion on it. Like, man, you should have kept it player. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you didn't fuck her while I was with her, so what the fuck does it matter? You know what I mean? Like, you should have. It's like, yeah, I get that, but
it's also his personal life.
Yeah, it's like the reality is like you're not the one dealing with it. I mean, like you're not the one in his shoes. Like I can tell you all day long, you know what I mean? Like if somebody pulls a gun on you, what you should do, what you shouldn't do. I can articulate and speculate all I want. But unless I'm in a situation where I have had a gun pulled on me, it's like, what the fuck? Like,
Right.
can't really, like, can't really speak on it.
I want to talk about the origin of Mad King. And I want to talk about how Mad King is kind of sows and finds its way into like the face-offs, even when you're sitting like on the Iron Throne. You know what I mean? Just like
yeah. I mean, so me and the face-offs, like I'm looking at the face-offs. I'm looking at Ace Main and his face-offs, and I'm just like, I don't got that kind of energy, man. Like it's like this is like one of those situations where again, you're gonna have to just be yourself and hopefully niggas like it. And I started like talking the way I usually talk. Like I'm just like breaking niggas down, like, and speaking concisely as to why they're not gonna beat me. And I felt like niggas was much more entertained by that rather than just me barking, you know, insincerely about like, you're dead tomorrow. Like, it's like niggas are doing that and they're much more sincere about it. Ace Amin is sincerely saying that. Like, he means it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when Ace does it, that's coming from the heart. Like,
right.
You're gonna die. You're dead. You know what I mean?
Even when Easy, like when he's like, dickhead, like
yeah, like he means that shit. So it's like, okay, if you want that, there are people here that can provide that for you. But that's not what I can give you. I'm not that kind of high energy face-off guy. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm gonna just do me. The Mad King, after Ace Main, after choking against him, that was like a turning point. I was like, dude, you're letting your fans down like consistently now. Like, this is like with Ace Main, there was like no. It was like, not that there was an excuse before, but now it just looks ridiculous. Like, you had 2 months to prepare for Ace.
Yeah.
2 fucking months. And you choked in 2 rounds, bro. Like, and then I was thinking about the times where I was the most prepared. And when I battled Fix, that was the time where I like felt like I really went Super Saiyan. You know what I mean? And that was the battle where I felt like I was going to choke under the pressure. And I was just outside the venue in an alley trying to go over my rounds, and I couldn't get it together. Like, I was just, but then something happened. My homie was the one who, so I fucking procrastinated on buying a plane ticket to that event. And it was almost a situation where I had to cancel. And I posted about that. And niggas jumped on me for it. It's like, what the fuck? Like, nigga, this is your shot. This is your PG shot. We've been waiting for you to get a PG shot for the last 4 years. And you dropped the ball like this? Like, you fucking piece of shit. Like, everyone was giving me hell for it. But then my homie stepped in and he just paid for the plane ticket, like, out of his pocket. So.
Big up.
Man, so now I'm on the side of the venue in the alley. And I actually am losing so much confidence that I'm trying to like figure out what I'm going to say after I lose. I'm trying to figure out what my Facebook post is going to be after I lose. And once I like had the words, like, sorry, like, I'll get you next time, it was like a realization of how pathetic this shit was. Like, this is fucking pathetic. You mean to tell me niggas done invested in you for 4 fucking years to get you this opportunity that nobody really gets where you're from? You mean to tell me all these fucking battlers that are looking to you to put our name on the map, you mean to tell me your homie your guy that's believed in you since this whole fucking, shout out to Rome 206, man. Like, you mean to tell me he comes out of his pocket to pay for your plane ticket when you procrastinated on that shit, and you're gonna sit here in this motherfucking alley and try and figure out your apology letter? Instantly, it was like Frieza shot Piccolo in the chest, bro. It was like, bro, it was like Cell stepped on Android 16's head, bro. Like,
shit.
Like,
that was the moment.
I went crazy in my head. Like, I was like, no, fuck no. Then as soon as it snapped, like the goosebumps all over my body, like I went over my rounds in my head clean. And I was like, I went straight to like the league owner. I was like, we got to run this now. We got to run this right the fuck now. And that's why if you watch that battle, I'm just standing there clenching my fists and rapping the whole time. Like, my homie rips my hoodie and that doesn't faze me. Like, nothing can shake me right now. Like, because I know if I step out of this zone for a second, it might be over, and I couldn't afford it. That was when the Mad King was born.
Wow.
That was when the Mad King became, I just forgot that. And then when I choked against Ace Amin, I realized I was at a certain point in my career where like complacency had set in. It was like, I done made it farther than any nigga from my, region has made it. It's like, I don't really have to try all that hard. But then when I remembered, like, I had to remember everyone that's fucking believing in me. And it's like, no. And then I remembered that moment and was like, okay, from now on, Mad King. Like, from now on, I'm always in that zone. From now on, every single battle is that battle in LA where I had to convince myself in the alley that, nah, like, it ain't no apology letters from now on. Yeah, that's where that came from, man.
Jey the Nightwing, Mad King, Mr. Relax, Mr. Simone niggas. It was a pleasure having you on, bro. Hell of an
appreciate
interview.
It, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, tell the people where they can find you on social media. And if you have a Cash App or a Venmo, with all my guests, I like to put their Cash App in the description.
Oh, yeah. Let's
get into it. Let's get into it.
Nah, man. So, yeah, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jey the Nightwing. You know what I'm saying? I try to keep it simple. At Authentic Clothing 253, you can get yourself a Mad King tee. And $ True King 1002. That's my Cash App. You know what I'm saying? For any of the supporters, you can support either way. You know what I'm saying? You could just shoot me money. You know what I mean? That's always. Or
you could pick up a plate with Jay's barbecue.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? $10 a plate. You know what I'm saying? For the rookie class 1-0.
Now, before we leave and hang up, this has been the moment I've been looking for this whole time. Now, I wrote a bar. And I'm coming for you, Jay. I'm coming for you, Jay. All right. So this is a segment that I would like to call Rate My Bar. And in the future, if I have any other battlers on that I'm compelled to have on.
You know, I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah.
All right.
I'm
just saying.
I'm just saying.
Oh, okay. I thought. Yeah, no. Be honest with me, bro. Violate me if you pause.
Right.
Pause.
Yeah. Let's pause.
Yeah. All right. So, with Jay, I won't work for them Washingtons because he might go the federal way. Ooh.
It can be a setup.
Oh,
it can be a setup.
Damn! So did you just call the bar that I've been stewing on this whole time a filler bar, bro?
Yeah, it's kind of filler. It's kind of filler, but it can lead up to a fire haymaker though. I'll give it that.
Hey, bro, I just gave all your opponents a free name.
For real. And if they do that shit, I'll know they've been studying. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Oh, you watched that.
You had
Will
to dig
interview.
deep.
Yeah,
You had to dig deep.
yeah. Okay.
Man, it's been an honor and a pleasure.
Man, pleasure is mine, bro. I appreciate
awesome.
you.
Yo, have a great day. And I'm gonna actually hang up. I'm not going so we're good to go. Thank you so much, my brother. And
Absolutely.
I'll hit you with clips and all that once I get this edited down.
All right, for sure, brother.
All right. Have a good one.
All right, man. You too, bro.
Peace.